Welcome to Nashville Super Speedway and the Sim Racer Hub Challenge. This is race one of tonight. Drivers are about getting done with their qualifying here. Should not be much longer for them, hopefully. This will be a 80 lap race. Let me just confirm that here. Want to be completely right on it. I do think it is 80 laps. So let me pull the schedule. Yes, it is. No, yes, 80 laps here. And then we'll go to Kansas Oval. That will be a 100 lap race, 150 miles. Two races back to back. But we have saw some guys come close to repeat winning. Even right there sometimes. It's just going to be hard for... It's hard to repeat in general at these tracks. But one thing that I'm going to have to be watching for at this track, and it really, you don't think that it would be a big factor, is the draft and the tires. Because these tires will go away incredibly quickly if you do not save them right. And you can go... You can drop really fast, but the draft is definitely a huge factor. Gabriel Ellison, he's sitting on top of the board right now with a 350 flat. Second truck, and behind him is Michael Groen Jr. with a 30.53 for his lap. Oh, pull up some race info here, actually. You can see what they're talking about on the track. So it's close to 1.5 miles here. I believe they call this a cookie cutter track, but it wasn't raced long for a while, I'd say, and then NASCAR brought it back, and it produced pretty good racing for the amount of time that it's been back on the schedule. I think it's a pretty good idea for them to do that. They should be getting done with their qualifying very, very soon. It looks like that was the end of their qualifying. So I will pull up the starting grid for these guys right here, and it changes tonight. Did not expect to see that. As you can see, Gabriel Ellison, he will qualify first. Michael Groen Jr. second. Matthew Ayla third. Joey Okapin fourth. James Nelson fifth. Brian Knoll sixth. Jonathan Duncan seventh. Stu Leslie eighth. Joseph Plager ninth. John Peely 10th. Zachary Hockenmeyer 11th. Clinton Sneed 12th. 13th is Doug Newbigging. 14th is Doug Neese. 15th is Wayne Lowe. 16th is Anthony Thurber, but that is race control. So 15 drivers in this first race here tonight. Hopefully it can give us some good racing. Give them all a paint refresh one. Everyone is on pit road. Do not want to jump the gun on some people. As I do not have water bottles, it's going to be definitely going to be tough for me. I know for sure. Not going to be a enjoyable thing, but I might as well. As I'm lucky, my voice hasn't given. Oh, actually, I'm not even gonna say it because I'll probably curse myself here. I don't know how I am. I'd say something and then it would happen. I'm like, well, I kind of can't do anything at that point. Just going through some Discord here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Because sometimes when I go into this, it goes into streamer mode and I cannot get any notification from anything. So I don't hear any dings or stuff like that, but everybody has gone on pit road. I will give them a paint refresh now just to make sure that everything has loaded up correctly for them. Everybody's paint stayed the same. I think the 13's changed. 49s might have changed also. Everyone's paint scheme was pretty similar. I don't think anybody's changed too drastically, luckily. One thing you will see come into play is how much of a factor the draft will show, because you wouldn't think that it would at this track, but you can definitely see the difference when somebody has drafting help and when somebody doesn't have drafting help, because they can get a really good push down that backstretch. They can get out there pretty far if they have somebody behind them. But that being said, you have to have somebody behind you. If you don't have anybody behind you, then you're in a tough position to begin with. It'll be the 27 of Ellison. He will lead him to green. The 29 of Groen. Be on the outside of him, Matthew Ayla and Joey Okapin all around him. See, those all are probably teammates, if I had to guess. Green flags in the air here now. They're underway. Already fanning out. Everybody's trying to use all that track that they can, it seems. a stack. Oh, we got some contact there. I'm not sure who that was. I think that was the 77. And I think the 75 shot through the middle. That is James Nelson. So already drivers beating and banging on each other early on, but Ellison's got up to a pretty good lead so far. These guys are going to have the task of trying to catch him now. They don't have to do anything early on, but that 75 looks like he got away with probably the least damage. I think that 77 got probably the worst of it. His side is pretty well scraped up. I'd say it's not looking too good for him. We got beaten, banged, used like a pinball there. He's kind of he's run off that bottom a little bit, giving Noel a little bit of a lane, but I think that he's doing that to dime in the corners. You don't want to burn up your tires here too soon, because if you do, well, you're in a rough position for sure. 75's trying to run that high line. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the run that he needs off to stay equal with the 7. He is not. Might pull a crossover, decides to tuck in behind the 7 of Doug Newbiggin. But I honestly thought that he would try to go for it there. I don't know why he didn't. 75 got loose off the bottom there. That's going to give the 88 of Zachary Hockenmeyer a lane under him. 34 might follow him also. So he's losing a lot of positions. Now I think that damage might have finally shown for him. Up front, Ellison hasn't pulled away. Ron Knowles stayed there. He did get past the 29. I don't think that there's going to be too much. I think the driver's going to pretty much go single file as we have the 75. He's continuing to lose position after position after position in this race so far. He might honestly go to the back with the damage that he has. And if he goes to the back, he's already in a tough position. He definitely does not want to see that happen for him at all. Guys going at now. Looks like that is the 31. He's trying to protect that position from the 93 Flagger on the outside of him. Joseph, you don't really want to run the bottom here necessarily. You can kind of run that middle lane and get away with it better. I've noticed. I think the 93 he's trying to do, but he can't get down to the bottom. Like he can't really get the diamond of the corner that he needs to. Might be getting in a little too deep. Also, possibly is that something that drivers will do commonly, as I didn't think that the 31 had room there. Definitely squeeze it. The 7 goes to the bottom of the 31 now. He wants to take that position from him. But he will probably get it before the corner might drive in there a little bit deeper. He tries to cut that 31's nose off. He did have room, so he was able to come up in front of him. No contact was made between those two drivers. Right now they're running about 31 to 32nd laps right now. But these guys pretty much up front. See this draft have already started to break away from Stu. Stu does have Jonathan behind him, so these guys are going to have to work together to get back up there. These guys. Top 4 pretty much just broken into a little small pack currently. Let's go on board with the 20 of Joey Okerton. See just how long he's having to get out of the throttle and wait for that truck to rotate on the bottom, because it's not wanting to rotate most of the time. That's just something about this track. It's not a Martinsville. It's not a super speedway. It's just an odd track, but it definitely is fun to run for sure. I did enjoy that. Up there it goes. Just okay, I'm trying messing around with it over here, trying to make sure I have the right thing pulled up for you all. But looks like the 30s kind of getting, the 29 and the 20 are kind of starting to have a gap form between them and the 70. They need to follow him, but you can see them. They're pretty much falling in this 70 tire track in front of him. So they're trying to stay in the draft as much as they can. May not be a lot, but if they can save a little bit more fuel, they'll be able to already be ahead on the fuel. Like, everybody's pretty much just decided to run single file at this point. Nobody's really making any pass on each other. They're kind of like, all kind of like, yeah, it's going to be right here most of the time. Ellison, he's pretty much left from the drop. Green flag hasn't had anybody face him at this point, really. I'm kind of here, but it is early in the race. It's only 12 laps in, so drivers have a long way to go in this race for sure, but they're not running terrible lap times. They're about almost getting close to a second, or about half a second off of the pace right now, with just the tire wear that's starting to show for them. Yeah. It's like 13's giving the 93 a little bit of room on the outside. 93 might have had a good run. Doesn't want to get punted in the corner. Joseph has been moving up. The biggest mover so far is Doug Newbigin. He is behind Joseph. He's just kind of lurking around. He has a little bit of front end damage, probably from a little bit of contact earlier. That's not uncommon at this track for sure. 93 looks like he got on the apron there just a little bit, shot his truck up into the track to make him try an exit. So it's going to give the 13 a good run on the outside of him. Is going to be able to break even. That 93 not going to have any draft help. He's probably going to tuck in behind 13. Yep, he will tuck right in behind him when he gets the chance. Have to kind of mount up and try. He's right on that 13's bumper. I thought he was going to give him a little bit of a bump. 13's going to try to stay in front of this 93, maybe block a little bit, just going down to the bottom. So 13's just running pretty much the normal lane that anybody would on that track, but the 93 is going to be right all over him in this corner. 93 runs a little bit high. It's going to give Doug Newbigin a lane to the inside of him, but I don't think he'll be able to capitalize it with the 93 having the help of the 13 in front of him, even if the 13 does not want to help him. You see these guys up here have broken off. Something must have happened to Joey Okapin, because he got into the wall here. He smacked that wall. You can see the right side of his truck when he comes by here. Look at the damage that he has. That is some pretty hard contact, so he probably got tight off of 3 and 4 if I had to guess. Where drivers will tend to get tighter, especially as the run goes on. Those tires wear off, and you have no turn at all. It's just vicious for them. Vicious. Got the 7 of Newbin's going to try to go under the 13. He should get that position. Yeah, 13's going to give it up to him. But he lets these guys go behind, or go in front of him, decides not to fight him. But this 29 is just barely holding on to the 70 right now. He's still got the draft from him. But the 20, I think, he's going to start feeling the effects of the damage. Flagger and Newbigin, they definitely been the guys that I've saw on the move so far in this race. So they've been picking through cars. It's going to take them time. This track is more about saving tires than anything. If you go out there and you burn your tires off early on, you are already going to put yourself in a hard position. I've saw people do that before, and they're like, well, I kind of can't do anything now. I don't know what to do. 93's looking on that 20. I don't think that 20 can really pose any of a challenge to the 93 just with that damage. I think it's just going to be too much for him in the long run. Just have to let him go. 20 will probably need to fix it. If there is a caution that comes out, but he's not giving the spot up to the 93, I thought he was going to get it up to him, but he's still going to fight on the outside of him. The 93's going to, or sorry, 29 will have the advantage with the 7 behind him, but I don't think the damage is too much for him to overcome. I'm going to try to stay on that right quarter panel of 93, but the 93 is clear, so he'll be able to slowly go up the track in front of the 29. So I really can't pose a challenge. But Ellison, he remains out front. He's pulled a little bit of a gap on Brian now, and Garone is kind of staying with that 70 in front of him. These guys are going at it back here. Doug trying to get under the 29, or sorry, 20 of Joey Oakman. He gets under him pretty easily. You see the 88 in the background, that Zachary Hockenmeyer trying to go under the 13 of Jonathan Duncan. I think he'll get that past him for the corner is. Yeah, he's gonna 13 in that. Yeah, 13 does have no damage, so he can definitely fight with the 88 more, and the 88 being on the bottom, it's gonna put him in a hard position. You really don't want to be running that bottom for very long because you just can't put, the amount of throttle down that you need to. And when you do, that once it gets really tight and you're really burning off all that you have on the bottom of it. To 75. He's got his damage. These two guys are kind of racing around each other. They both have damage, slowing them down. They're about 3 to 5 seconds behind these guys up here, and there's a gap to third, or the third. Third has a gap. It's about 2 seconds on fourth. These guys got damage early on. Just can't seem to get away from each other. I think this is just the race of the damaged trucks, it seems. Ellison's going to continue to extend that lead out. Just like it's nothing for him. The 83 is going to try to go under the 13 now. 13 not giving it up to these guys. That's Stu Leslie's going to try to make it hard for them to get by him. He's going to kind of be like Ryan Newman in real life when he used to race. It's hard to pass. But you got past me, you got past me. Won't do anything else. After that, luckily. And get the 13 clear now. Let's see if the 49 does. Does he bump the 83? Looks like he will. Yep, he's going to try to get the 83 a push by. Nope, he's not going to push. I thought he was. Might have given the 83 a little bit of a shot getting into the corner. The 83's got to really wrap that bottom. I think he gives it a little bit of throttle in the corner. That's to get a good run out 3 and 4. So get out away from him as he got in the throttle pretty aggressively there, but he made it work for him. And these guys are running around here. I will take a quick ad break. You will not miss any of the action. If anybody wrecks, I will pull you all right back over here. We are back here. Not many moves were made. I know the 83, he lost a position. He's lost, it looks like only one. The 49's kind of coming up for the pack. That's Clinton Sneed now in that Bose audio truck. gotten past actually 3 of these guys. The 20 has surprisingly held on pretty well. The 70 has pretty much the 29 glued on his bumper. The 29 has not left him at all. But looking at lap times here, Clinton ran, let's see, just want to make sure, ran a slower lap time. I believe he's also because he's sorting through traffic, but they're running about 32-second laps here now. About getting close to halfway, and it's only been 20 minutes in the race, surprisingly. These guys are really going at it back here. This is where the most of the action seems to be. 83 merges up in front of the 34. With the damage has still been trooping on, and it's just been pretty good for him so far. Actually, I can't say it's been pretty good for him so far because he has kind of scraped the whole side of his truck off. When he gets in there pretty deep. Actually, see, you know, we're on board with some of these drivers that are in the back, and we'll see how they're driving compared to Gabriel Ellison, who has a clear track in front of him. Well, actually, right behind the 83. He's right behind the 20 right now. I think, you know, running that top for him, he was getting tight. But we'll now go to Gabriel Ellison. See how different it is watching him race compared to Stu Leslie in the back of this. Definitely see, you know, just how much smoother he's able to be through the whole track, and he's able to really, he's been pretty disciplined to staying close to that yellow line. He's not being on the bottom of it exactly, but he's been close to it. But Plagger, he's been kind of nipping away at this. His 29 has pretty much just been behind the 70 the whole entire time. These guys back here is pretty much, I think, where most of the action we'll see. The 83's trying to get under the 20 finally. I think he's been kind of fed up with him being held up behind him. I don't blame him. Just don't punt him, is all I ask. I don't want to see anybody in the fence because that's not good. Looks like he finally got past him there at 20. Surprised he's doing how well he is with the damage, but I think drivers, I'm not sure how long they can go on fuel. Now they could split it at lap 40. But you will want the fresher tires here for sure. You do not want older tires. As 2 laps is a pretty big difference here, surprisingly. I don't know why this track is like a cheese grater for your tires, but it evidently is, and people just kind of get eaten up from it. Sneady's made his way up to 6 right now. Not having a bad night so far. But actually, he is running lap leader. So we've got some people that are starting to show speed late in the race. Late in this first run. They're not fading as much as they should be, and they're kind of keeping pace with Gabriel Ellison. Now, Gabriel, he could be driving it a little bit harder than he needs to, and he can probably just, you know, start to lift and be like, I've gotten from so far ahead. I mean, you do anything like that. That'd probably be my exact thought. Everybody's pretty much single file. Nope, as I said, the 13's trying to go under the 20. 13 wants that spot from the 20. That's for the top 10 position currently. I'm going to try to get around him here. Corny has not been easy to pass the whole entire night. Now he's been kind of trooping on with his damage. I think that was probably the corner he got tied on was 3 and 4. That's not uncommon to see drivers nick the wall just from really how tight they get up there. This seems to be a common theme. Guys, let me adjust a limiter for this desktop audio because I needed to do that. Yep, so just making sure that this desktop audio will be correct for me. But Plagger, he's came down pit road. He'll be the first guy to bite. I'm surprised by this stuff. I'd have come a little bit earlier, but he evidently decides, or sorry, a little bit later, but he decides to come in. Now we'll see. Will this start the whole pit cycle? Now the 27 does have the advantage of where he's out front so far, but the 29 and the 7 of Doug Newbigin come down. So Gabriel, the lead that he has, he can afford to stay out just a little bit longer and get like a lap or two up on these guys on their tires. But if you go too far, that's where you see problems arise. You lose a lot of time, as I've had that happen multiple times. Luckily, most of the time you do have the race to make it back, but the 27 sees that everybody else is pitting, so he comes down pit road. See what Clinton Sneed does, see if he stays out. Looks like he will probably not come to pit road. I thought he was. These two are both on pit road. Now Matthew will come down pit road. We saw 34 of Wayne Lowe comes down pit road also. Doug didn't, or Matthew Ayla misses pit road through the grass. That's going to be a black flag for him. Just missed the entry to pit road. He's just trying to get on the track. Trying to get on the pit lane now. He merges up to it. Kind of pit stops are hard. You would think that, oh, it's just turn left. Not really. They can become incredibly difficult for people. But Denise and Healy have decided to stay out. They might run it to the end, but Clinton finally came down. So does Zachary Hockenmeyer. Put Denise to the board. Now, if this cycles out, maybe we'll see how far does Doug Denise go on his fuel. If he try to stretch it and get up on these guys in tires, trying to use that advantage to him. He was pretty far back, so I think that the time that he'll need to make up just isn't worth it, but he could be hoping for a caution. Look, it's going to caution. I'm not even going to say that because I probably cursed him if those words would have came out of my mouth there. So Denise, he finally comes down. Healy, he will stay out on track. He could be running his tank basically dry. Nah, I would not blame him for doing that. That is not a bad thing to do. So I'm a driver who would have done the exact same thing for him. Denise, yeah, he got in pretty good. We'll see. When is Healy going to come down pit road now? That's a big question. Looks like he's not going to come this time either, so he's definitely just going to run it dry. And that's what his option is here so far. Denise, he will get off of pit road. I don't think he'll go a lap down, though. But these guys behind him are basically running about 2 seconds faster than a lap. So that's just the difference that tires makes here. He doesn't want to be staying out for too long, or I can definitely come back and bite him if he stays out for too long. Luckily, I haven't had to really see that yet here. Now, he could be hoping for a caution. Caution comes out. That's pretty much gold for him. Actually, that might not be gold for him. It could, because he can come down pit road, get tires, fix the optional damage that he has, but you see these guys are just going to unlap themselves here. So I think that he's pretty much decided, I'm just going to stay, I'm going to stay out for as long as I can. I'm going to let these guys go, not fight him here. Doug just ran the fastest lap of the race. Actually, that is the fastest lap of the race at Doug. He just ran 57. That last lap, he is about 3 seconds off the pace now. So he's definitely playing it bold here. He's swinging for the fences, and if he doesn't hit it, well, might as well just say, I gave it a shot, and I can't be blamed for it. That's not a bad way to think sometimes, so I don't blame him for doing that. No. Looks like, I think everybody's just kind of stretched out at this point. Nobody's really near each other. I think that the 34 and the 83 might be close to each other somewhat. They're still spaced out. I don't think anybody, this race has gone green so far. It's just kind of separated the whole field. And it's really, who comes later, who wants the better tires. Now, I think when he does get lapped or passed, I think that is when he will come down pit road. I don't think he'll stay out anymore after that. Everybody's pretty much stretched out at this point. Now you got the 40 and I believe that's a 29. Oh, sorry, 20 behind him. These guys are fighting for position. The 40 came in 2 laps later. You've already saw just kind of how far he's just kind of able to pull away from this 20. Not a lot, but just this tire advantage is just so seeable here at this track. It just can't be hidden. It really can't. You can be the best driver in the world, but if you don't have tires and you don't have any grip, well, where's that speed going to go? You can't put down the throttle like you need to. Tell y'all what, I am absolutely worn out. Track has taken my will to live here. 83, I thought the 83 might have went in the grass. Just half a second. He said he didn't. It's like, he still stayed out. I think he might be up. He's coming down this time by. Finally pits lap 51. Now, I don't know why you pit this late, but possibly he's hoping that the tires that he gets are a God, or is a set sent from God himself. That's the only real chance that I see him having right now. I don't see him having any other chance in this race. That'll sort out Gabriel Ellison. He'll go back to lead like he was earlier. John Peely, he will go at least 1 lap down here. He should be getting out and away pretty soon. It's like he will probably fix his optional. Probably taking all the fuel that he can in there. Looks like you can see his damage here. His damage isn't too terrible, but it's definitely not something that you want to see either, because that's still gonna hurt him, and that's more aero than anything. These guys are a little bit past halfway in the race. Roll some more ads here. I need to get some different ads. If any action happens, I will definitely bring you all back in here. back here, nothing has really happened at this point. Let's see, where was the 77? So 77, I think that damage is too much for him. He ran 31.59 last lap. It's actually, he got beat by some of these guys that came on tires. I think it's just the damage that he has is just way too much for him to overcome. Ellison, he's pretty much controlled this race from the start. Garone, let's see what he starts running for his lap times. He was a lot slower that last lap. Did get past Braun Knoll, but it's pretty much just been everybody's so stretched out here so far. They just really can't do anything at this point. So actually, the biggest mover is actually tied. You got Wayne Lowe, he's in 7th, and Doug Newbigin. They have moved up 8 positions. Both of them have. But the biggest loser is Matthew Ayla. He's just has no damage. He's lost 12 positions. He started 3rd. It's like he has just had a rough night so far. Is that something I can feel sometimes, man? You just don't. The track just doesn't go the way that you need it to. We used to have a track like that before. It was just hard to drive. That was Darlington. That bump in 1 and 2 wanted to reach out and grab me. I didn't want to talk to it, but it wanted to talk to me, and it got me a couple of times for sure. Like Clinton might come under fire from Doug Newbigin here relatively soon. About 20 laps left in this race. Doug, he has not. So Clinton probably missed a corner looking at the lap times. Newbigin was a lot slower than Sneed. We'll see what the lap times are this time here. We got a 32.03, 32.47. So I think that Newbigin's trying to just hold on to the lead. Not to the lead, the draft. We have Clinton Sneed. He's 29. He's pretty much out of the picture from this 27. He's got no help around him either. That does a 27. Everyone's pretty much stretched themselves out from each other so far. But I think, has he repeated again? I want to see this. I'm going to look up something here for y'all. I think it was either Ellison. Has he repeated? I think, I can't remember who repeated. Let me see. I can't remember. I think it was one of his teammates who repeated. I'm not sure if it was him. I'm trying to think if it was. I think he won last week. I'm not completely sure. I do so much stuff I don't even remember half the time, to be honest with y'all. Begging down the tires are going to start to show. He's only 2 lap older tires, and Sneed's starting to pull away from us. Pretty much got that in the bag. Now, the person who is running the fastest lap, the last lap, was Clinton Sneed. We'll see what he runs this lap. Actually, he's still. Let me see if it updates. He's running the fastest laps on the track right now. Now, Peel looks like he's actually, he's running faster than everybody else, but he is 1 lap down, so he's got to hope for caution. Even if the caution did come out, that doesn't really help him that much. And that will give him a chance to go in and fix all the optional damage that he has. Not be a bad thing. So he got it early on in the race. Actually, we'll go back and see. This late, I didn't go back and look at it earlier. We'll see how he even got that damage. Just because it was right on the start. So we'll go on a replay here. This is the very start of the race. 77's on the top. And the 75 makes a little bit of a move and gets into him. Oh, the 75 got loose. And yeah, that's where that damage was from. I think 75 just got loose in the corner, and the 77 had nowhere to go on that. Just thought, look back at that, I don't know why I did that. Didn't do that earlier. I don't know why that didn't cross my mind, but evidently it didn't, but we still did get to see it, so it's not bad for y'all. Jerome, he's starting to lose a lot of time with these guys now. I'm just trying to see what cameras we have here. I believe this track has been updated. We did have a, and glad we found that out now. We do have a start-finish cam. I believe that guy's called Barney, actually. That's what he's called in the race, I think. That being said, I'm not completely sure. Do not want to be calling anything prematurely at all for these guys. But, oh, let's flip the ball here. Ellison right now, he's going to finish this race. Is his to lose at this point. He'd have to do something pretty drastic to lose. He's got a 5-second lead on these guys currently. Pretty much have to bend it in the wall if he wanted to lose at this point. Hopefully he doesn't do that. No, he wants to take him with him. I would too if I was him also. 49 looks like he's going to go under 31 if we'll use a lap truck. But no, he's been slower. I thought he was going to catch him there for a little bit. But Snead has been running continuously faster laps than the rest of the field. So it looks like Snead has found something late in the race. And it's just, sadly, it was at the wrong time, it seems, for him. Just a little too late. Like he's running that second groove, diamond in that corner, running the first seam, kind of 2 tires between that one. But right now, it's working for him pretty good. Some drivers are more of, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to learn the track, because that's definitely what I am. I was like, I'm just going to go. It's like, I'm just going to kind of guess. As 27, yes, he did win last week. I knew it was him. It was the 27-7 who won last week. 27 won at Homestead. The 7 won at Las Vegas. I had to make sure that was correct, but it was. For some reason, I had a feeling, and I knew it in my mind that somebody had won like that. Got somebody making a pass at the 27. 20 is looking on the 27. 27 actually lapped them. For some reason, I thought they were going to try to race each other. Put the 20 lap down. 20 got damaged. No, early in the race, I think he just got tied off with 3 and 4. I had missed it, and then we turned to his truck, and I saw the right side, and I was like, oh, he's gotten in the wall, hasn't he? Evidently, he kind of pancaked the side of his truck there. So it's going to be, that goes a lap down here. So inside of 10 to go. And right now, this is Ellison's race to lose. I mean, it really is. He's got no competition right now. I mean, that's what it comes down to. There's nothing that can be done to catch Ellison. Ellison's just so far ahead that I think it's just too much for him. I mean, I really do. Y'all, I don't want to stretch too far because I'm going to get a cramp if I do. And I do not want to start cramping because I will go straight to the ground. Because, tell y'all what, I've had some cramps that probably came from Satan himself, it seems. Like, it hurts bad. So these guys are getting late in this race. I'm actually going to go and do another stream here, just a fresh one, to have it ready when this race ends. We're going to be going at Kansas. Let me just make sure here. Kansas, yep. Let me just add the thumbnail to it, so this link will already be up, so I can get this all done. All done for you all, so you don't have to worry, hey, where's the stream link, But one thing that I get asked so many times, I'm like, I'm going to get it up, just calm down, please. As I've actually came close to missing some races before because of that. I'll probably tell a story about the next race. As I did not need to do that, evidently. Hopefully this stream, okay, good. About wanted to switch over to that other stream. It was almost bad. But I think Garone might catch Garone here. I think he's too far. Find Clinton, he'll probably catch us 7. Clinton has been running, he's been running fastest laps on the track. He really has 32s, low 32s. Everybody's running still low 32s, about 32.2s. 32.5s, 32.4s across the board. But Clinton, he's been picking up. He's probably going to try to get a top 3 finish here. Out 70, he's not going to give it up to him. 5 to go. Clinton gets on his quarter panel. Side drafts him as good as he can. Going to give Clinton a really shallow intro. It's not what he wants to see here at all, though. It's a hard entry through the corner. He's not going to be able to put the power down with 70. He's not going to really have much to battle with Clinton. As Clinton's going to have a little bit of a better tire on him. His tire's going to play again. It's the theme of the night. Tires, tires, tires! As Clinton gets into the wall. It's not what he needed to do there, getting into the corner. Looks like it doesn't hurt his truck too bad. He's lucky to get away with no damage from that. Still going to have the preferred line on the outside of the 70. He will get the 3rd position now as they're going to be 3 to go when they come to the line here. That is not good. But Ellison, he's just had a night. I mean, he really has. He's basically dropped the green flag, and it's like, no, I'm just going to run away with it. No one's going to have anything to do with it. Looks like Newbiggin. Thought he was. Looks like Newbiggin. He got it around low on that lap. Out of 2. 2 to go now at the line. This race is gone. It's not by it's getting fast, surprisingly. No cautions. Has definitely sped that up for these guys. Some drivers had a rough night. Some drivers haven't had a rough night. Drivers that have had a rough night, they're like, please, let me just end this race. I don't want to be here anymore. And I do not blame them for having that feeling. Probably one of the most annoying things that you can have. You're like, nothing's gone right. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. I don't blame them. It's kind of how I feel sometimes, really. But white flag is in the air here. Ellison, he is just dominating. I mean, that's really all I can say. He's got a 6-second lead to Garone, so he can pretty much run half throttle if he wanted to. Let Garone catch up to him to 70. He's trying to catch up 49, but 49 just has better tires. Clinton's going to fall short of 2nd. I think if there were more laps, Clinton definitely could have had a chance to go get 29 Michael Garone Jr. But out of 3 and 4, the driver who's going to take the first race tonight here will be Gabriel Ellison at Nashville Super Speedway. Dominated the whole entire night. Michael Garone Jr., he will come 2nd. Looks like Clinton, he will come home 3rd. Brian Knoll, 4th. And Joseph, he will come home 5th for your top 5 here. And the first race, that was a dominating finish from that guy, from 27. He just won the whole race on his own, basically dropped the green flag. He's like, nope, nobody can touch me. As I need to prove this is me. Yes, and then whatever sync, I don't even care. That's not what I want to see. Thank you for that. There it is. We'll watch Gabriel burn it down here. You can enjoy this win now. See if he can repeat. He wasn't able to do that last week. I know he's going to be out for vengeance. He started this week like he did last. He did have a little bit of damage. I didn't see that until just now, but he toes, so didn't do that long of a burnout. Don't blame him at all. He can really hop over into that next race, but I'll pull up the race results here for you guys. Bring in the top 3 for a interview. Look for where they are. We bring in the 49 of Clinton Sneed first. Hey Clinton, this is Bryson Booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, so you come home 3rd, but towards the end of that race, you were putting down the fastest laps on the track, but it was just, you just fell a little bit short. You know, how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the finish?
Yeah, well, you know, I messed up qualifying a little bit, so I started in the back, and at that point, you know, they were a little crazy going into turn 1 there for the first couple of laps, so I ended up, you know, all the way. I think I was in last at one point, and I just kind of rode there and saved my tires, and you know, worked my way up through there after everybody's tires started falling off, and then you know, they're at the pit cycle. I stayed out and led a lap, and had a lap or two better tires on those guys there at the end, and almost got to second, but just ran out of time, ran out of tire. But overall, good night for the Toyota.
Yeah, not a bad race. I thought you were gonna catch second, but just fell fairly short. But you were definitely a guy to watch towards the end. But before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching this first stream here tonight?
Yeah, first off, thanks to you guys at the Ghost Racing Network on putting on a great broadcast. Thanks to everyone that supports us with the Sim Racer Hub Challenge. If you haven't checked it out, go check out simracerhub.com and track all your league stats and results and points and everything. And yeah, we're looking forward to a little more racing in Kansas later on.
And well, I'll let you go. But good third place finish tonight, man.
Thanks, man.
That was Clint Sneed. We will bring in the second place driver of Michael Groen Jr. Hey, Michael, this is Bryson Booth. Got a copy, man? I believe he has to change over to push to talk. For some reason, when they go in the room, it goes to push to talk. So I'll give him a little bit to fix that. Oh,
you got me?
Yeah, man, I got you. So you come home second. How did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the finish, though?
Yeah, it went okay. Whole first run ran behind the 70 and did a good job, I think, of taking care of the right front, but it's just so hard to pass at this place. Tried to build a run a few times, just couldn't really get it done. And then as soon as I got out in clean air, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not really great at that particular track. So I got in clean air and just driving way over the right, just burning the right front. And at that point, it was just riding around for second. I wanted to try and give Gabe a run for his money, but yeah, I just killed it that second run very early on and just had to ride around.
Yeah, man, just this track really chews up tires, and drivers really don't think about that, but it definitely is something that is a factor that really doesn't show up. But you still didn't do bad, came home second. How do you feel about your chances about Kansas, though?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Get to run the top here. The fixed setup usually builds loose. So it gets to be a lot of fun. You're kind of wheeling it up against the wall and trying to build runs. You got to pull some sliders to make some passes. So it should be a good time.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank all the guys at Sim Racer Hub Challenge, first of all, that make it possible. Couldn't have a good time on Tuesday nights without him. And yeah, just Stu, again, I thanked him before, but him putting the paint together on the truck, he does a good job. He's painted pretty much all of our trucks on the team, so really appreciate him.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Hopefully, I see you move up one position in the next race, but good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you.
As that was Michael Groen Jr. We will bring in the race winner and Gabriel Ellison. Hey, Gabriel, this is Bryson Booth. Got a copy, man?
I got you.
Man, so from the drop of the green flag to the checkered, you dominated that whole entire race. I think you led all but probably like 10-ish laps because of the pit cycle. But, how did the race go for you overall?
Yeah, man. I mean, can't really go much better than that, can it? The truck felt really good. It was tire saving was extremely important. You kind of had to arc the corner and use a good bit of brake and just be easy on the throttle on exit because it can get pretty tight on you. Did a good job of that, and it just kind of, the clean air definitely helps from starting on the front row. So overall, just mistake free, and can't ask for much better.
Yeah, man. So how do you feel? You tried to repeat last week, just fell a little bit short. How do you How do you feel about going to Kansas? Do you think you can bring home 2 wins in a row tonight?
Yeah, man, I hope so. I think I got a good shot at it. Kansas is a really fun track. I see guys ripping the high line quite a bit tonight, so I always think that that's a fun time. Passing might be kind of hard, but a lot of slide jobs, that kind of stuff. I think it's fun, so we'll see.
And well, before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, man. Huge shout to Roasted Gems Coffee, RS Button Boxes, Shady Designs, all the Lucky Ducks partners. Huge shout to Sim Racer Hub and Ghost Racing Network.
Man, well, I will let you go. Good luck in the next race. Hopefully, I can see you repeat again, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
as that was Gabriel Ellison. I will go through the finishing order here. Gabriel Ellison first, Michael Groen Jr. second, Clinton Sneed third. He was setting out some fast lap times at the end of the race. Brian Knoll fourth, Joseph Plager fifth. That'll be the top 5. 6th is Doug Newbiggin. 7th, Wayne Lowe. 8th, Zachary Hockemeyer. 9th, Jonathan Duncan. 10th, Stu Leslie. 11th, Doug Denise. 12th, Joey Okapin. 13th, John Peely. 14th, James Nelson. 15th, Matthew Ayla. And 16th is Anthony, but he is race control, so he does not count. But not a bad race overall. Basically, it was pretty much drop the green flag and checkers. No wrecks. Nothing happened. Pretty calm out throughout all of it. So not a bad race overall, but they will be going to Kansas. Ripping the high line is what some drivers are going to be doing. But I will roll these ads, and I will let you all go. Hopefully, I see you in the next race.